So this is the key of our ardas being listened to by Guru Sahib. The key is that we must have 100% faith when we do an ardas. That Guruji, please protect me, or Guruji, please help me get this done. Oh, I'm in trouble. I know you're there listening to me. And then you leave everything in Guru's hand. You do not think like, okay, I've done an ardas, but what if? And when we have buts and what ifs, I don't know, this kind of like statements or thoughts, then we already bring in doubt into our mind. And then how can doubt and faith be in the same place? Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Sangat Ji, welcome to another episode of Sikhan di Bhagat Mala. And in this episode, we're going to be doing something different. So instead of going through every Sakhi for a separate video, we are going to be exploring the whole pauri of the Var, and we're going to be sharing all the Sakhyan that have been mentioned in that pauri. So, Sikhan di Bhagat Mala is basically a pothi, a granth written by Shaheed Bhai Mani Singh Ji, and it explores the stories of Gursikhs from the time of Guru Sahib as mentioned by Gurdas Ji in Diawara. And these Sakhya have been told by Guru Gobind Singh Ji themselves to Shaheed Bhai Mani Singh Ji and the Sikh Sangat as well, and they have been documented. So, in today's episode, we are going to be looking at the Sikh of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, all those Sikh Sangat who came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji in pauri number 18. So the first Sakhi based on the first pauri of Bhai Gurdas Ji's Var 11 pauri number 18 is Puriya Chuhar Chaudhary Peda Dargah Data Para. So this is the Sakhi of Bhai Puriya Ji and Bhai Chuhar Ji, and the lesson that we can get from this is how can we stop lying? So, on a daily basis, sometimes we can't help but we have to lie if you're doing a business or, school, college or anything. And this is a very good lesson for us. So, Bhai Puriya and Bhai Chuhar Ji, Bhai Chuhar Chaudhary, they came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and they're basically revenue collectors. And they said to Guru Sahib that, Guruji, we lie to people throughout the day because we are revenue collectors. How can we be saved? Because lying, of course, is a sin. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj then gave a very practical step for them to take. That Guru Sahib said that if you stop lying, then this will help you to be saved from the cycle of coming and going, because you're not creating karam. And it's difficult for us to stop lying just like that, right? So it has to be a step-by-step process, and consistency is the key. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, build a dharamsala, so you want to call it Gurdwara in your town, and have Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Prakash. So Swarup Prakash of Gurbani, Guru Granth Sahib Ji in the Dharamsala. And what's going to happen is that every day you have to make a point to go and have Darshan of Guru Granth Sahib Ji and listen to Katha for 4 to 5 kadiyan. So one kadi is about 24 minutes. So if you do the math, it's about 1.5 hours to 2 hours dedicated time to listen to Katha. Why Katha? We're going to listen to the Sakhya of the importance of Katha at the end of this pauri. So then Guru Sahib says, okay, you go to the Gurdwara, you have Darshan Guru Granth Sahib Ji and listen to Katha and Kirtan, and you go about your normal day routine, your job, your daily life, whatever you're doing. When you come home, before you sleep, you have to make it a practice to write down all the lies that you told throughout the day. Take a piece of paper, sit down and write down all the lies. Be sincere to yourself, be honest to yourself. After a month, collect all the pieces of paper, that you have written throughout the whole month with all your truths and all your lies, and go to the Dharamsala, go to the Gurdwara, in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and the Sikh Sangat, reveal all the lies that you told. So read out the piece of paper. Today I lied to someone, I was supposed to get this much of money, but because of my selfish reasons, I asked for more and this and that. Read out your lies. Now, it takes a lot of guts to do this, right? But only when we are aware and we acknowledge the mistakes that we do, then we can bring about change in our life. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then say, every month, go to the Gurdwara and in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and the Sangat, be honest and tell all the lies that you told. What are you going to feel? Is you're going to immediately feel the sense of like, ashamed. Why am I doing this? How can I even face my Guru and the Sangat? Because Sangat is Guru Roop as well. And then sometimes you might even have that guilt when you recall all the lies that you told that could have hurt someone. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj then says, as you do Satsangat daily, you have Darshan Guru Sahib every day and you read Gurbani, you listen to Katha Kirtan, you will start to develop pe, means fear. Not that dara for the world, but that positive fear towards Guru Sahib, that my Guru is watching me and listening to me. And you will then refrain from telling lies. So as you read out your truth and your lies to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, you will feel ashamed of your action and of your lies. And then within 6 months, so Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, so within 6 months, your habit of lying will be gone and you will start to become righteous in your actions, your thoughts and your words. So Pai Puria and Pai Chuhar Chaudhary, they took up this advice and they started practicing it daily in their life. And true enough, I think Sangaji, if we adapt this as well, it will work for us. So the next Sakhi is about practicing what you preach. So this is something that even I need to focus on and especially listen to this Sakhi. So Pai Gurdas Ji says, Bala Kisna Chengarana Pandit Rai Sabha Sigara. So it's a Sakhi of two Gursikhs here, Pai Bala and Pai Kisna Ji from the Chirangan clan. They are basically Pandits. And so they do kathas in the king's darbar, so the king calls them and they do katha there. So they came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj and said, Guruji, we have basically attained the knowledge of all the Khat Shastras, the 6 Shastras, 18 Puranas, the Vedas, all the Grantha there is. We know the knowledge of it and we can preach and teach others. But why is it that when we do katha or when we feel, when we teach the Sangat and share this Gyan with them, why is it that we don't feel peace within ourselves? It should be that because we have the Gyan of the Shastras, the Vedas, we should be experiencing what they are actually telling us, but why is it not happening? So then Guru Sahib says that as you preach and speak about the knowledge and the wisdom of the Vedas, of the Shastras to the people, you have to do that to your own mind as well. So when you're telling someone, this is what Gurbani says, that be kind, be honest, do not lie to anyone, do Naam Simran, do Seva, do Sangat. You are also speaking to yourself at the same time and telling your mind. So as you preach to other people, you're preaching to yourself as well. So when we are doing Katha or Kirtan, we must not have that mindset that I already know it, that's why I'm telling you. It must be, hey, this is what our Guru is telling us to do. So we are going to learn it together and practice it together. So this way then you'll be liberated and your mind will be at peace. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji's advice, Pai Bala and Pai Kisna Ji took it upon themselves, and as they do katha in the king's darbar, they also do katha to themselves as well. As they're speaking, it's like as if they're speaking to their own mind more rather than speaking to the people sitting there. So in the third Sakhi, the third Pankti, Pai Gurdas Ji then shares a Sakhi of a Gursikh called Pai Trilokha Ji. So the Pankti is Suhad Tilokha Surma Sikh Samunda Sanmukhasara. So there's this two Gursikhs here mentioned, Pai Trilokha Ji and Pai Samunda Ji. So what's the Sakhi of Pai Trilokha Ji? Okay, so this is a very interesting one. Pai Trilokha Ji is basically an employee of the Mughal Empire. So he's basically a soldier. So Pai Trilokha Ji from the Suhar clan, he came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj one day and said that, Guru Sahib, look, I'm an employee of the Mughal Empire, which means I'm a soldier and my job is to fight battles and kill the enemy as told by my general. But because I'm killing people, how can I be saved from this world? Because killing someone, cruelty is a sin, right? And Guru Sahib says that one of the limb of Dharma is ahimsa. So this is a Pankti that comes in Sar Katavali Granth, and it tells us the 10 limbs of a dharmic person, a righteous person. And one of that 10 limbs is ahimsa, non-cruelty, right? So then Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj spoke to Pai Trilokha Ji and says, look, it is your dharma, it is your job, your worldly job to do what a soldier does, which is fight, and destroy your enemy. But within your mind and your heart, basically we are speaking about intention here. Do not have any cruel thoughts towards someone. So you are not killing someone because you want to, or you have that desire or the itcha that I want to kill this person. You are just doing your job because this is what your job requires you to do. But within your heart, your intentions must be pure. So Paitilokaji then says Sat Bachan and then he goes on his own way. And one day Paitilokaji went to the jungle and he's riding on a horse and he sees a deer. So what he did was then he raised his horse towards that deer and he had a sword in his hand and he basically chopped the deer and killed it. When he came down, what he saw next shocked him. The deer was pregnant and the unborn child, basically the fetus, because he slit the stomach open with his sword, the unborn child came out from the mother deer's womb, which means both mother and child died. So Paitilokaji then he became very afraid and very upset because he went against the bachan of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, which is to not kill someone intentionally and do not have the desire or the itcha to hurt someone, to kill someone or an animal, anything. So what he did was, he looked at his sword and he said, Ki, Ede karke, it is because of this sword in my hand that I end up doing cruel actions, cruel things. So what he did was, he broke off the blade, the iron blade of his sword, and he changed it to a timber blade, so a wood blade. But he kept the mota, the handle, as iron, and then the blade is made of wood, which means you can't really hurt anyone with it. So then he put it back into the sheath. So from the outside, people could see that, oh, it's a sword, right? Because the handle, the mota is of iron. But only if he takes it out, then only you can see that the blade is actually of wood and not of iron. So Paitilokaji, being a soldier in the Mughal Empire, the army, he was very much liked by the general. And there were many people who were jealous of him. And he used to get, one of the reasons why people were jealous of him was he used to get 5 rupees per day as his salary, which is a very big amount. And so some people found out that Paitilokaji changed the blade of his sword into a wooden blade. And they went and complained to the general and said, look, you pay him so much, you have so much of faith in him, you trust him so much, but then he carries around a wooden blade. How is he going to kill any enemy? How is he going to work for you or get anything done? So the general then demanded Paitilokaji to show his sword. And Paitilokaji at that point, of course, you have your Guru Sahib, Bachan, that you have to follow, and then you have your worldly boss who is demanding you to show. And at that point, Paitilokaji then closes his eyes and does an ardas to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj ke Sache Pasha, hon meri laaj rakho, protect my honor. All I'm doing is following your bachan. So he was very fearless because he has done his ardas and he has full faith. So this is the key of our ardas being listened to by Guru Sahib. The key is that we must have 100% faith when we do an ardas. That Guruji, please protect me, or Guruji, please help me get this done. Oh, I'm in trouble. I know you're there listening to me. And then you leave everything in Guru's hand. You do not think like, okay, I've done an ardas, but what if? And when we have buts and what ifs, I don't know, this kind of like statements or thoughts, then we already bring in doubt into our mind. And then how can doubt and faith be in the same place? So Paitilokaji did an ardas and he was fearless. He took out his sword, his mian, from the mian, and everybody was shocked to see that the blade was indeed one of the best iron Damascus blade that someone could actually have in their possession. Those who gossiped about him, they were shocked, and the general was very much pleased with Paitilokaji. So what Paitilokaji did with his 5 rupees salaries? So Shahid Bhai Mani Singh Ji tells that out of the 5 rupees, 1.25 rupees he would give to Guru Kar. So he does chadava to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj and to the Guru Kar for the seva for Guru Sahib and the Gurdwara. 1.25 rupees was spent on the poor. So he used to do charity, give them food, kapde, anything that they need. And the balance 2.5 rupees were used to feed langar to his fellow soldiers who perhaps didn't get as much salary as he did, and also to the other Sikh Sangat as well. And this way, Sangatji, despite doing a job that Paitilokaji did not really enjoy, but he had no choice. You see, sometimes even when we work as a doctor, for example, or a policeman or something like any job, there's always the pros and cons of it. But if we have good intentions while we're doing it, and we do ardas to Guru Sahib, and we find ways to return back to the community if we feel that we haven't done enough, like how Parthi Lokaji did, then of course Guru Sahib will always be on our side. So now the Sakhi of Pai Samundji. So the same Pankti, Suhar Tiloka Surma Sikh Samunda Sanmukhasara. So the Sakhi of Pai Samundaji is who are the blessed Sikh. So Pai Samundaji was a Sikh of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and one day he came to Guru Sahib and he said, Guruji, I want to ask this question. Who is a Sanmukh Sikh and who is a Bemukh Sikh? So in our previous videos, we also have spoken about this as well. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, well, when a person is given a task to do and they do it well, they do it properly, they are called a Sanmukh Sikh. And a person who is given a task to do but doesn't do it well, in fact causes more damage, then that person can never be a Sanmukh Sikh. Then Guru Sahib then continues to give other characteristics of a Sanmukh Sikh. Sanmukh means someone who has their mukh, their face facing the Guru, which means following the teachings of the Guru. So a person who wakes up at Amrit Vela, does their Ishnan, takes a bath, remembers Vaheguru through Simran, does charity, Pondan, those people are Sanmukh Sikh. So Guru Ramdas Ji also, they have said before ki Gur Satgur ka jo Sikh akhaye. So pal ke utha har naam dya. Uddam kare pal ke parbati, isnan kare amrit sar naave. Fir chade divas gurbani gaave, beh dya uth dya har naam dya. So that whole Shabad speaks about the characteristics of a Sanmukh Sikh. And then a Bemukh Sikh is someone who have spent their whole life in the Panjachor, in lust, in anger, in greed, in pride, in ego, and have never followed the teachings of the Guru. So then Pai Samundaji then says ki Sache Pacha, please bless me so that I can become a Sanmukh Sikh as well. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says that look, ek kirpa de naal hundi hai. It is only through Guru's kirpa that we become Sanmukh. And then when we are Sanmukh, which means we have our face facing the Guru and we can always have darshan of Guru Sahib, ek kirpa de naal hundi hai. But to get Guru's kirpa as a Sikh, we must be putting in effort as well. We must be doing our ardasa as well. Like Pai Samundaji, he asked, what effort can I put in? Wake up at Amrit Vela, do your Ishnan, do Simran, do charity, do good. When you're given something to do, you do it well. Then after that, Pai Samundaji does what? He does an ardas, ki Sache Pacha, make me a Sanmukh Sikh. And then that formula, you add it up together, equals to getting the kirpa from Guru Sahib. So the next Pankti is on the three types of Gurmukhs and Manmukhs. So it's a very similar concept here as well. So the Pankti is Kulla Pulla Chanjiya Pagirat Soini Sachiara. So this is Sakhi of three Gur Sikhs, Pai Kulla, Pai Pulla and Pai Pagirachi. They came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj and they have a very simple question. They say, we are going through so much of pain because we are going in and out of the cycle of life and death, the cycle of reincarnation. What can we do? Please bless us, give us a Sikhya that we can cut this cycle, break the cycle, and we don't have to come back into this in reincarnation again. So then Guru Sahib says, well, you should do the actions, the deeds, commit the deeds and do such actions of a Gurmukh and forsake the actions, the habits of a Manmukh. Then they ask, ki, Guru Sahib, who is a Gurmukh and who is a Manmukh? Now here is where Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj then continues and shares about the three Gurmukhs, three types of Gurmukhs and three types of Manmukhs. Under Gurmukhs and Manmukhs, so the three categories are Gurmukh, Gurmukhtar and Gurmukhtam. And then the Manmukhs are also the same. Manmukh, Manmukhtar and Manmukhtam. So who is a Gurmukh? Very briefly, someone who follows the teachings of Guru Sahib and forsake their bad intellect, their madi buddhi, And if someone does good to them, the Guru Sikh also does good to them as well. So it's like, you do good to me, I do good to you. And they always appreciate the kindness of other people and they don't forget the kindness. Gurmukhtar are those who have let go of their bad habits, their bad actions, and they have taken on good actions and good habits. And they help people whether they get anything in return or not. It's not like a barter system, but it's more like I want to do good to everybody. And Gurmukhtam are basically scholars. They do good to everyone, irregardless whether people do bad to them or people do good to them, or people don't even do anything for them. Gurmukh Tams, they are like, we want to help everybody, the whole humanity. Even if someone says anything bad or good to them, they always respond in good. Then Manmukh are those who always indulge in like bad actions, bad words and bad thoughts, do not follow the teachings of the Guru Sahib. If someone does good to them, they'll forget it. And if someone does bad towards them, they will never forget the bad. So they forget the good, but they never forget the bad. Then Manmukhtar are those who only does bad to everyone, regardless whether people do good to them or people do bad to them. They just respond in bad actions, bad words towards them. And Manmukh Tam are those who do bad to people who help them and who do good to them. They just respond in just being mean towards them. And if someone tries to help them, they respond in mean ways as well. They say that there's no benefit in listening to Shabad, in listening to Guru's Bachan and doing good. It doesn't help them in any way. And these are the people, Guru Sahib says, they will suffer in hell. So, Guru Sahib says to see Gurmukh bano. Being a Gurmukh means you don't see what the next person is good or bad. Your intention must be pure, and your job must be to always do good towards other people, and be it they are good to you or they are bad to you. So in the next Pankti then, Bhai Gurdas ji says, Lalu Balu Vejjahana Har Khwant Har Das Pyara. So 4 Gursikhs mentioned here, Bhai Lalu ji, Bhai Balu ji, Bhai Hardas ji and Bhai Pyara ji. And so their question is, the Sikhya that we get from here is 4 daily practices that we must do as a Sikh. So they came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, and of course their question, every Gursikh will ask this question, look, the way that we can be saved from this world is different. Our destination is the same, but the journey is always different. So they ask the question that how can we be saved, Guru Sahib? And Guru Sahib says, well, when you meet someone, always meet them with a smile. Sometimes when you see people, they're like sare buddhi, like this, like I'm in a bad mood and I'm going to show it on my face, So Guru Sahib says, always meet others with a smile and speak sweetly. We never know what the other person is going through, and we never know what impression they might have of us. If we meet people with like, sare buddhi and or sometimes you put on that face, that layer that, oh, I'm an Amritari, or I have a certain status, so I cannot mingle with you. And Guru Sahib says, remove all of that and meet everyone with a smile and speak sweetly. Share with other people and always be humble. So 4 teachings. Meeting people with a smile. And if you meet someone with a smile, they might be having a bad day, but you smile at them, you acknowledge them, and they feel just so much better, right? And then second is to speak sweetly, mittha bolna. So we spoke about it, the 10 limbs of Dharam. One is mittha bolna as well, okay? So then sharing with others, so apna dasvand kadna, and then vandke shakkana, and always be humble. Be humble even though you have everything, you have nothing, being humble in all situations. So in the next Pankti, Bhai Gurdas ji then speaks by another 4 Gursikhs who come to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, and their names are Bhai Nihalu ji, Bhai Tulsiya, Bhai Bulla ji and Bhai Chandiya ji. So the Pankti is, Tir Nihalu Tulsiya Bulla Chandiya Bahut Guniyara. So these 4 Gursikhs, they came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, and they have this doubt which they want to clear about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So they said, Guru Sahib, we have heard so many different versions of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's history. Some say that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the reincarnation of a follower of Raja Janak. So which one is true, Guru Sahib Ji, or are both not true? Can you please help us to remove our doubt and make us have faith towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji, because you're sitting on a throne of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and we want to have that faith towards Guru Sahib. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj then says, look Sangat Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the form of Paramatma themselves, right? So Aap Narayan Kalata Jag Mein Parvaryo. Okay, so Aap Narayan, Paramatma themselves came into this world and took the form of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then says that all the 3 deities, the Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and all the 33 crore Devi Devte, they also sing the praises of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They also bow down to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji took avatar in this world, everybody, all the gods, the goddesses, 33 crore Devi Devte were showering flowers and sandalwood on the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji because they have taken avatar. So these people, these Devi Devte, they also praise Guru Nanak Dev Ji, but yet they cannot find Paramatma, right? They cannot find Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they cannot find the end of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, है ना? And so Guru Nanak Dev Ji came, Guru Arjan Dev Ji then says that Guru Nanak Dev Ji came into this world to bless us the Gyan. So Turki Bani aaye, ten sagli chint mitai. To bless us the Gyan of all the spiritual texts in the world in a very simple language and simple, guidance that we simple-minded people can follow, and we can also attain liberation as well. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote Bani in simple language, and it contains the essence of all the Grantha, all the Vedas, all the Shastras in the form of now that we have Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, you want to build your faith in Guru Nanak Dev Ji is to read the Bani of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and understand what Guru Sahib is telling you to do. So the next Pankti connects to this. The question is, what do I lose from reading and contemplating on Gurbani? So the Pankti of Bhai Gurdas Ji, the next line is Gokhu Toda Mehtya Tota Madhu Sabda Vichara. So these four Gursikhs, they came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji and they asked, Ki, hey Sache Paatshah Ji, you're the only one who can save us. No one else can save us from this world. Only you can save us. Now please tell us, what should we do? And Guru Sahib says, well, all of you together, the four of you, should sit down together, become each other's Sangat, and read Gurbani and do Vichar, means contemplate on what the meanings of the Gurbani is, what Guru Sahib is telling us to do. And whatever is a teaching of Gurbani, you must accept it and practice it. So, Sarnana, Manana and Nidhyasan Karna. Pehla Sarnana, listening to it, Manana, then accepting it, that this is what my Guru is telling me to do, and then Nidhyasa means to put it into practice. So then whatever Gurbani tells us to leave, means idana karo and so on, you need to leave all of that negativity and those bad practices. Then they ask, why should we read Gurbani? What do we get? What is the benefit of reading and contemplating on Gurbani? Or what do we lose, when we do this? So Guru Sahib says, when you read Gurbani, you are collecting good karam. So when we do Sahaj Path or when we read Gurbani, we are collecting good karam. It's a good thing, right? And our mind starts to become pure because we are listening to Turki Bani. So mind starts becoming pure. But then Guru Sahib says the next step is if you start reading Gurbani without any desire, so Nishkam Denal, you're reading Gurbani not for like, main Sahaj Path tariya because I want a new house. So of course you get the blessings for that as well, definitely. Whatever you ask for, you shall get. But Guru Sahib says, what do you get if you don't ask for anything? Then Guru Sahib says, if you read Gurbani without any desire, for any worldly desire, and only to contemplate the meanings of Gurbani. So you're reading Sukhmani Sahib, you want to know what this Bani is all about. Then you will start to obtain the Gyan, the wisdom, and Gyan, Brahm Gyan, and your cycle of life and death will be broken. You will break the cycle of life and death. So Guru Sahib now gives an analogy. Guru Sahib says, just like in wood, there's the energy of fire in wood, but you can't see it. So, even within this body as well, we have all 5 elements. The element of fire, the element of wind, air, space, earth, and water. Hana? So, in the wood, there's an energy of fire. But without the right technique, you cannot start a fire and burn the wood. So, what you do is when you rub 2 things together, you rub like 2 stones together, 2 matters together, it will then create the fire. And then the fire, you use it to burn the wood, and the wood, what it will do is it will take on the form of the fire. So the wood will no longer remain. All you see is ashes. Right? When you burn the wood, all you see is that fire, that heat from the wood now comes out. So then Guru Sahib says, similarly, when we rub the stone, the matter of wisdom, of Gyan and Vichar. So there's 2 keys here, Gyan and Vichar. Then the ego of the body and mind will be destroyed, will be completely burned. And what comes out of it is you will start to realize and acknowledge your true self, which is Atma. You start recognizing what are the qualities of my true self and Paramatma. And so in the last Pankti now, it's very similar theme. The lesson here is the benefit of listening to Katha and Kirtan. So, like I mentioned earlier, when Guru Sahib told the Gursikh ki tusi Katha suno, Kirtan suno. And what's the benefit of it? Why Katha and Kirtan? Why not Katha or Kirtan, right? So some of us, like even in Sikh Dharam as well, sometimes we just have people who just prefer to listen to Kirtan and do Kirtan. But when it comes for Katha, then they just get up and leave. And some are just like, मैं कथा ही सुननी है, I'm not into Kirtan. And then if a samagam happens, then they get up and leave. But in this Pankti, Bhai Gurdas ji, through the Sakhi, will tell us why both Katha and Kirtan are important. So the Pankti is, ਝਾਜੂ ਅਤੇ ਮੁਕੰਦ ਹੈ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰੇ ਹਜੂਰ ਕਿਦਾਰਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਪਹਾਰਾ. So the three Gursikhs mentioned here are Bhai Chanju ji. So here is Chaju, but Bhai Chanju ji, Bhai Mukand ji and Bhai Kedara ji. And so they are basically Guru Kar the Kirtanis. So they came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj and say, Ki Sache Paatshah ji, how can we be saved from this world? And Guru Sahib say, well, you have the knowledge of Rag. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਰਾਗ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. You have got the knowledge of Gurbani, Sangeet, Rag Vidya. And what you should do is you should just do Kirtan. Kirtan karo. And Kirtan is basically a type of penance. It tapasya hundi hai, and it's a sattvic penance, which means it's a good type of penance where it doesn't increase your ego, or it doesn't make you create more karam and so on. It's a very good type of tapasya, and it's the best tapasya in Kaljug. So in Gurbani, as Mara says, Kaljug mein Kirtan pardana, Gurmukh japiye laye tyana. So then the Gursikhs asked Guru Sahib, please tell us the benefit of reading Gurbani and listening to Katha and Kirtan and doing Katha and Kirtan. So listening and doing Katha Kirtan. Now Guru Sahib gives an analogy about why Katha and Kirtan are important. So Guru Sahib says, so three analogies here. Reading Gurbani ourselves, then when we read Gurbani, someone else, we read it together with someone. Second is doing Kirtan and doing Katha. So three analogies here. So the first one, benefit of reading Gurbani. So let's say we have a field, we have a khet and we are a farmer. So you want to water your field, right? You want pani to go into your field. So what you do is you dig a well and you create a waterway, drain, so that the water from the well can be directed towards your field. So what happens is your field is watered and you bring back the harvest from your field. Who enjoys, who reap the benefit? You yourself. This is the benefit of reading Gurbani. But if you do it with Sangat, so what is that is when you build the drain you direct the water from the water source, the well, into the field, and you create neighboring drains as well. So the neighboring field, they also get the pani. So they also get to enjoy, they reap the fruits of listening to Gurbani because you did the work as well. So that's the benefit of reading Gurbani. Now, we have so many fields. So if you look at Punjab, there's so many khet, right? They're so far away, kilometers wide. Because you have dug that well and you have directed the water source into drains around the field, not every field can get the pani. So you might reap the benefit, your neighbors might. But what about the humanity? What about everyone else? So here is where Guru Sahib speaks about Kirtan. Kirtan is like a heavy rain that you look at the cloud, it might be clear, but the next thing you know, heavy rain. So Kirtan is like heavy rain that pours on every field, right? And what happens is everyone gets to enjoy and reap the benefit of the harvest. But what happens is that heavy rain, sometimes it doesn't last for long. It's like that, it's a booster, right? And so what is Katha then? Katha is like drizzling rain, Hana? Not heavy, but it's basically long-term rain that drizzles at a very consistent speed. So what happens is, Katha, the rain that comes, it sips into the ground and it stays there. So the water then contains into the ground. And heavy rain water, it gushes and it just is basically like, it creates a very instant like source of water and it pools there, and then after that what Kirtan does is Kirtan creates that love and berag and instantly creates that emotion. Katha is sahaje denal, it stays in. So when we listen to Katha, it stays within our mind and we start to do vichar of it as we listen to it. Sometimes that thing might pop up again when we go through our daily life. So Guru Sahib says then those who listen to Katha and Kirtan and contemplate on Gurbani, so the three elements, reading and doing vichar of Gurbani, doing Katha, listening to Katha, doing Kirtan, listening to Kirtan. When they do these things together, they complement each other. You can't just be doing one thing and not the other. So Guru Sahib then says, Katha describes the Kirtan and Kirtan produces love and joy in someone's heart. Just like a mother is complimented when she, based on the upbringing of her children, right? So the mother cares and nurtures the children. So Guru Sahib says the mother is like Katha. It's a very long-term process, slowly. And the Kirtan is a child, which is the result of it, right? And something that people can see. So Katha is the mother and Kirtan is the child. Then the Gursikh asks, well, if Katha is the mother and Kirtan is the child, then who's the father? Then Guru Sahib kende, Prem, love is the father. So without love, you can't be enjoying Katha and Kirtan, So all three elements must be together for you to enjoy Gurbani and reap the fruits, the benefit, of Gurbani, of listening to Katha and Kirtan. So you must have love. Only then you will have the desire to listen to Katha and Kirtan. And Katha and Kirtan, like what we mentioned, Kirtan is like heavy rain. Immediate, you get results, right? And it can change people's life. You store water for like future use and so on. Katha is like drizzling rain that sips into the ground and sits there for a very long time, and you use it for a long time. And Gurbani, reading Gurbani, you benefit for yourself, and when you do it in Sangat, you help other people to benefit it as well. So Sangatji, in this pauri, we see a various theme across the whole pauri. How do we stop lying? How is it that we have to practice what we preach when we do Katha and Kirtan? How our Guru saves us when we follow the bachan of Guru Sahib? Who are the Gurmukhs and the Manmukh? What are their characteristics? And also removing the doubt on Guru Nanak Dev Ji, which is a very important point, because even at this age now, a lot of people have doubt on Guru Nanak Dev Ji or even on our Bani. So even back then during the time of Guru Sahib, people already had doubt, but they went to the Guru to remove their doubt. So we don't go to anyone else as well. We go to Guru Sahib. We go to Guru Sahib to remove our doubt. And then the last towards the end is, what do I get and what do I lose if I listen to Katha Kirtan, read Gurbani and do vichar on Gurbani? So Sangatji, there's a lot to learn from this pauri. Hope you enjoyed listening to the Sakhya of this pauri. And in the next episode, we're going to explore Var 11, pauri number 19. Pula Chukan Dikima, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.